Welcome to Small Business Saturdays video series with your host and my husband.
And my dad, Aaron Montgomery.
Join the conversation.
Let's talk some business.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome into Small Business Saturdays. My name's Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me above at oursuccessgroup.com. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate everybody tuning in here this morning. Good morning, Wade and Travis. About to get out and mow the yard, huh? Yeah, it's pouring rain here today, so no yard mowing for me today. Maybe on Monday we'll get back to that. And Richard, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And good morning, Todd. So hopefully you gentlemen are doing excellent this morning, and appreciate you tuning in for our 5th week here of our Success Principles training program, where we're getting to learn some things from Jack Canfield, and then we get to go through and talk and discuss. And so hopefully you guys have been getting as much out of this as I have. It has been a great program. I've watched and gone through all of these 10-week sessions before myself, and just being able to go through them with you guys has been fantastic. In fact, I sent out the shirt with the Michelangelo quote this last week. Christine Shreve actually sent over her life purpose statement. She posted it, so she got the shirt. And so checking all that out. Happy birthday, Todd. Yes, indeed. Happy birthday, Todd. Hopefully you've got big plans for the day to celebrate it. I know it's the birthday month, so lots of celebrating. And Kim, I believe it's your birthday as well. So happy birthday to you, Kim. And there we go. Todd returns the favor right there. All right, good. So anyhow, glad everybody's tuned in. Jerry, good morning to you as well. So today, and again, I want you guys to participate as much as you can, as much as you feel, well, even if you don't feel comfortable with it, I want you to participate even more. So again, share. We're going to go through the first, in fact, let's go ahead and do that now here, actually. Let's talk real quick about what we did. All right. Here we go. Eric says, listening in this AM, need to get back to actually spending some time on exercises. Awesome work you're doing, sir. Cool. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. All right. So let's just real quick recap the first 4 weeks, and since this is week 5, and you can go back and watch all of these over at liveosg.com, which gets you to our YouTube channel, and just go to the Small Business Saturdays playlist. And actually, at Christine Shreve's request, I did create another playlist just for these called Success Principles Series. So actually, let me go ahead and put a link in. Let's see if I can get to, there it is. How do I, okay. Well, I'll share that after the fact. For some reason I can't find where I can share that from, but anyhow, I'll share that with you guys after the program is over, and you can check that out. But Success Principles Series or the Small Business Saturdays on YouTube, so you can go back and watch and check it all out and get all the links and whatnot. So Todd says, eating breakfast with the fam, so I'll be in and out. I'll go back to rewatch. Excellent. Okay. Well, enjoy your birthday breakfast there, Todd, for sure. All right. So let's go real quick. Just to recap. Week 1 was be clear why you're here. And it allowed us to spend some time going through and working on getting closer to understanding what our life purpose is, so to speak. And the reason why, again, this type of a program is so important to me, not only just for people in general. I think this is a huge thing that can help us all personally, but it also does a whole lot of good for small business owners, because it helps us get that balance. It helps us get that clarity. It helps us time manage and all of that kind of thought process. It gets us clear. So when we start at week 1, be clear why you're here, you can get to a point where now you have a guiding principle to make all of your decisions by, and it makes that decision-making process so much faster. So for me, and I share this with Todd, with what we're doing with our success group, it's to provide resources that empower business owners to achieve their idea of success. So that's why I'm here. Okay. So once I get clear on that, everything else that comes across my desk or on my phone or whatever, it boils down to simply going, does this fit my mission, my life purpose, the why? Does this fit or does it not? If it fits, I do the thing. If it doesn't fit, I don't do the thing. I turn it down. And so getting clear on why you're here is obviously the very first thing that we want to work on. So that was week 1. We did that. And then that was where I was giving away a shirt for anybody that was going to share theirs. And Christine actually posted a picture of hers. So she should have her shirts any day now, hoping the postal system comes through for us. Second week, decide what you want. So now we knew why we were here, but what is it that we want from our lives, from our business, from everything? And we talked about doing a 101 goals list and getting through all of that. So that was week 2. And again, just it's one thing to kind of know why you're here, but then what is it that you want out of everything, your business and all that other stuff? And just taking the time to write that down is really important, and then helps us kind of understand. So we're making decisions based on those things as well. But the other thing about it is that if we write that down and we share that out to the world and talk about it and do other things, we're going to get the help and resources that we need to achieve those things. All right. So that was the second week. Then the third week was to clarify your ideal life vision. So we kind of had, in week 2, got some ideas of what we wanted. All the things are just basically breaking those things down. But in the third week, we got real clear about each section of our lives and took it from this is what I want to designing it specifically in our heads. This is how it's going to be. And once we start telling our brains this is how it's going to be, then all of a sudden our subconscious mind goes to work on fixing the gap between what's going on right now and what it is that our brain is seeing. So that's what we did in week 3. And then week 4 is we believed your dream is possible. So once we get that clarification about our ideal life, now we have to truly believe it and believe it to a point deep down in our heart that our brain can't determine the difference between that it's desire, a goal, a life vision, or reality. Because if we believe it's possible, it's just like the things that scare us. They're not really happening, but we believe so deeply that, so if you're afraid of flying or if you're afraid of heights, you believe so deeply that something could happen that you stop yourself. You're physically changed by that. So we can do the exact opposite on the other side by believing so much in the fact that this is going to happen that, again, we physically change. And because what's actually happening today is not exactly what you believe is going to be happening, then your subconscious mind will get to work on figuring out ways to change that and bringing that into harmony, so to speak. So believe your dream is possible. And one of the things we did there is we made some commitments to be 100% that was what we're going to do. So we believe it's possible. All right. So there is the quick rundown. Then that brings us here to week 5, getting smart with your goals. Now, SMART goals, setting goals, all that stuff are things that I've talked about several times before. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put a link to a YouTube video. That's Small Business Saturday video where we actually broke down SMART, S-M-A-R-T. It's an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant. And some people either say time bound. I say trackable, meaning we have a time. So it is time bound or trackable, whichever you like to use. But but Jack's going to break this down even more simple for us. So let me put that YouTube link in the comments there real quick. Got both of it there. And there you go. So you can click on that and go check it out at a later time. All right. So let me get out of the way here. Let's hear from Jack, and then we'll go over the worksheet, and I'll share that with you as well. And we'll go from there. In fact, let me do this while the video is going. I will also post the link for the worksheet so you can be taking a look at that. In fact, let's just do it right now. What the heck? All right, perfect. So let me get going with Jack's video here, and then we'll come back and discuss and get off to our Saturdays here. All right, so here we go.
I want to talk about what I told you I was going to talk about last week, which is another one of the things that keeps people from having their vision become a reality and how you can avoid that. The thing is that most people live in the world of wishes and hopes and dreams, but they don't turn their dreams into specific and measurable goals. You've probably heard about SMART goals, specific. You can't just say, I want a new car. You have to say what brand, I want a Buick, or I want a BMW, what model, what color. You've got to be very specific. And measurable in the sense of like, how big is your house? How many square feet? How many dollars are in your annual income? How many points do you score in that final game you play in your competition or your golf score, whatever? So SMART, measurable, achievable has to be something you can believe in. Like, I'm not going to go run a 2-minute mile because no one's ever done that. So it has to be something you can think is really possible. You want to stretch that, but you want to also make it sure, because if you don't believe it, you won't do it. And then realistic. And realistic, again, is something that is relevant too. Is it relevant to you in terms of what's important to your purpose, your vision, and your goals? And then T means time bound. It has a date by when. So I like to summarize all that by saying how much by when, how many dollars, how many clients, by what date. And we know that only about 10% of kids graduate high school ever having been taught to set a goal. We know that there's this thing called the 3% Club. 3% of the world owns 90% of the resources of the world. And so they're people who are goal setters, very specific. So we want to make sure you set goals for your vision. Here's what we're going to do. You made a list of your vision, the things you want to be living in the future, your ideal life. And we're going to go back to every single aspect of that and turn it into a measurable goal. Now, a measurable goal could be something like, you might have said, I want to increase my income, or I want to be rich. Well, how much is rich? How much is your income? So a goal always starts with the words I will or we will, if it's a group or a company. So I will be earning $300,000 a year by January 30th of whatever year it is you're focusing on. Let's say relationship. I want to be closer to my wife. Well, a specific measurable goal would be, I will take 2 3-day weekends every quarter with my wife where I don't work and we do something fun. And we'll take 2 one-week vacations by whatever date you want to set it from. Think about 1 year from today. So we're going to set your goals. The time frame we want to put on them is 1 year from today. Now, think about this. Some of you have big goals. You want to be president of your company. You want to be a lawyer. You want to be a partner. You want to be someone that has a part in a major movie if you're an actor. And that might be 2 to 3 years out before you could achieve that. However, what I want you to think about is, what could you do? What could you achieve in this coming 12 months from today that would get you toward that larger goal? And so that's going to be your deadline. You can do it sooner, but 1 year out, it's the maximum we're going to go in terms of setting a goal, because I want you to have some instant success along the way here as we do this program together, so you know that this stuff works. So if you've got 3 parts of a vision, like for your finances, you're going to have 3 goals. And then you go to relationships and health and fitness, and everything is very specific and very measurable. How much, by when. Goals are critical. I set a goal to make $100,000 in 1 year. At the time I was doing that, I was making $8,000 a year. And the reality was, I did not know how to make $100,000 a year. But in the next couple of modules, I'm going to teach you how to take the goal and use some very powerful mental tools, if you will, to actually activate your subconscious mind to come up with the solutions that you'll need and to start seeing the resources in the environment that were always there. So the how will show up. So right now, don't worry about the how. Just commit to what it is you want in a very specific goal. And so make that list. And then I want you to read that list every day and read it in the morning and read it the night before you go to bed. And that'll be the thing that will start taking this deeper and deeper into your own unconscious, deeper and deeper into your belief system. And as I said, next week, we'll learn some new techniques. And I'm going to teach you next week about a special goal, a goal that's a kind of a mega goal, a goal beyond all goals that will help you blow your mind in terms of what you can accomplish in 1 year. So make sure you join me next week and we'll see you. So for now, make sure you download your goals list, fill it out, read it every day, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Martha. Okay, let's try again. I got to unmute my microphone. Thanks, Valerie. All right. Hopefully it's better now. So good grief. Didn't sleep real well last night, so struggling here a little bit today, but we're going to do this. We're going to get through this together. Thank you so much for letting me know that you couldn't hear me. All right. So what I was saying is what are your thoughts? What are your questions? What are your takeaways so far with what we just saw there? And what is it that might be confusing? I love the fact that, and I've been thinking about SMART goals and writing about it and talking about it actually before I got involved with Jack Canfield's stuff. And it is a really interesting technique. And I think it's also really important way to look at goals. He also made mention of the fact that most high school graduates have never been taught how to set a goal. And that's true. When I graduated, heck, all the way through college, I didn't complete college, but all the college that I did, there was never a discussion about setting goals or having any of that. It was, you showed up, you did the work, and that was that. So kind of getting this concept and then taking that and breaking it down even easier of a how much and by when. Again, how much and by when. And Valerie makes a very good point. Valerie says, sounds very similar to Success Tracker. And it is not only similar, it is exactly what Success Tracker is. So let's take a look at the worksheet here first, and it'll be quick because there's basically he described it pretty well for us. But let's take a quick look at that. So let me get that page up. There we go. And then we'll make it bigger so everybody can see it. And I did put the link in, so either on YouTube there or Facebook, wherever you're watching, you should be able to click on that link and go ahead and download this for yourself. But as he said, we're going to take the list of the 9 areas of our life that we did in week 3, and we're going to do a minimum of 1 goal for each area. Now, for this exercise, it's as we progress through this, you're going to see it makes a lot of sense. Now, what I've kind of gotten to personally is I try to look at and take it even to more bite size for me. And what I do is because remember he says here, so once you've written that down, you want to read the goals to yourself each day. This will begin to plant seeds in your subconscious and help you achieve your vision. Now, one thing that I like to do is I actually have this whole program of things that I do in the morning. I call the morning pages, where I'm just writing whatever's in my head to get it all out. And then I write down a list of 13 things that I'm grateful for As we discussed yesterday, a lot on Facebook, some of you may have saw it. It was not my birthday yesterday, but I am a Friday the 13th baby. So I always treat Friday the 13th like a birthday. So, so that's where the number 13 comes from. It's a lucky number. So there's that part. But then I write down 3 goals, the 3 goals that are most at the forefront of my life right now. And I write those out, and I find that the act of writing it is even more powerful to me than just reading it. So if I'm writing it every time, because the other thing that happens is I tend to write it, and I tend to write it a little bit differently. So it gets a little more clear every time. So that's the next part. And then he just has an area here for financial, home goals, material possessions, career goals, free time and recreation, health and body, relationship, personal goals, community goals. All right. So we've got all that. And so the thing I love about this is it gives us a really nice framework, and it gives us something to go on. But the other thing that I encourage you guys to do is make it your own. That was one of the things that's really been helpful for me, is that as I started to then try to make some of these things my own, it meant more to me, and therefore it worked more to me. So he talks about the 9 areas of life. I've kind of got mine broken down into different segments where I've got kind of different things, but then I've got things kind of grouped together too. So anyhow, none of that's terribly important to this. But what are your thoughts? Let me see. Jerry's got something here for us. In my yearbook, when I graduated, when I was 18 years old, they asked what I wanted to be in 10 years. My answer was 28. That was the only goal training we had. There you go. Yeah. You want to live 10 years. And again, I all of that stuff, I don't think any of that was malicious. It just was the way that we grew up. And so, that's why some of this stuff to me is so important, because I don't think, people, and I still to this day, I think people are more exposed to things like this. Like, for example, my son, his elementary school, they call it a lighthouse school. And they actually teach the 7 habits from the book, the Stephen Covey book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So, he's getting a great foundation there. And then obviously in our household, poor Lewis is hearing from Jack Canfield all the time. So, I'm hopeful. But the great part is we can do this stuff. So let me hear from you guys what your thoughts are here. What can we do to make this easier? Like he said, he's got in fact, I'll give away a little bit of it, but it's calling it a breakthrough goal. And this is going to be really cool, because this is the scare us silly kind of goal that the WIG, the WAG, the wild ass goal, or the HAG, the BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal. So he's going to talk about that next week. But I think, again, if we go back and we look at the 4, now 5 steps that we've been through, just break it down to the simplest thing. Don't overcomplicate any of this. If some of it feels like it doesn't fit for you, then skip that part. Okay. Now, I think what you'll find is that as you start implementing these things in your life and in your business, that you're going to find that you're going to be able to expand this more. All right. So questions, comments, anything else that we missed here? We set a SMART goal. Valerie mentioned Success Tracker, and what the Success Tracker can do is and for those of you that aren't familiar with the Success Tracker, it's a program based around a lot of these things. But what it really is it's a way for us to say, okay, you guys make a commitment outside of yourself. So you're making a commitment to our success group, to the Business Basics group on Facebook, you're kind of making that commitment, but then you're also gaining people going, yes, you can do this. And you're gaining somebody checking in with you at intervals, and you're gaining that tangible thing too. When you reach your milestone, you're going to get a coffee mug, and that's a tangible thing to remind you that you did it, that you're successful, and that you're going to be successful. And when you complete the goal, there's going to be a shirt. And so we're just adding that extra element when it comes to success tracker. And, honestly, my goal for the success tracker is to make that a huge jumping off point for people. And if we do a good job there, then I feel like folks will want to be part of our success group as well. So, Jerry, this is a fantastic comment. It's sometimes sounds so simple, but only if I take action. And I think a good point there, Jerry. In fact, the co-working space that I'm in here, if I look right outside my door, I don't know if I could, I wonder if all right, we'll just try something fun here. I'm going to see if I can let you guys look right outside my door here too. Oh, can we get to it? There it is. Okay. So that's painted on the wall. It says, success is simple, not easy. All right, just take that in for 1 second. So success is simple, but not easy. To me, that means that the actions that I need to take are all actions that I can take and I am capable of taking. And nothing's going to be too complicated that I can't do it. So I have to believe in myself. But the not easy part, I think, is what Jerry's alluding to, is the fact that you do have to take action. All right. Eric says, do you ever have an internal voice, negative self-talk that resists as you work on these processes? If so, what's your go-to way to shake that off in the short term? Eric, let me come back and catch that. That's a great question. And the answer is yes, but we'll talk about that a little bit more. So real quick, Jerry, back to what we were talking about there. Sorry to get off track. So I saw one of the comments that you had posted, Jerry, and I'm right there with you. A lot of times it's just the taking action that gets in the way. But another thing that I've learned, and Eric, this technique might be good for what you're talking about, and I've used that in similar situations. But if you can stop and back up from things enough to say to yourself, what am I pretending not to know? All right. So because what's happening is we have it, it's there. But for whatever reason, whatever's blocking us, whatever is challenging us, whatever is causing the negative talk in what Eric was talking about there, all that is just some fear that we have inside of us that's stopping us. And the way to face that fear or to move forward is to just address it and be okay with it. And then once we can kind of get a little closer to putting our finger on top of whatever that fear is, then maybe we can figure out a way to take an even smaller action that we do feel comfortable taking or process. So hopefully, Jerry, that might speak a little bit to what your comment was on one of those Facebook posts earlier. But then, Eric, I want to get to yours again here and dig a little deeper into this if you guys are okay. Yeah, we haven't got to 30 minutes, so we'll go just a little bit longer here today. So Eric says, do you ever have an internal voice, negative self-talk that resists as you work on these processes? If so, what's your go-to way to shake that off in the short term? So to answer the first part of the question, Eric, yes, 100%. I am actually probably my worst critic by far. I think even some people that don't like me probably are less critical of me than I am. And this is something that I've had to work on extremely hard over the course of the last several years. And honestly, one of the realizations was that negative self-talk was holding me back. It actually, Todd mentioned that last on the 11th on Veterans Day was the anniversary of when I did the program, the Digital Marketing Superhero Program. And I actually have been talking about it. In fact, I think, Eric, you and I had talked about it several times before. I've been talking about it a lot, and I just never would do it. And it did actually take Todd kind of holding my feet to the fire. So that's one of the ways to shake it off is I've found that when I do start getting into those negative places, that if I can find somebody to talk to about it, maybe, depending on what it is, it's my wife is always there for me. And that's been huge to have that support system. Friends, Eric, you can call me anytime. You guys can all reach out to me anytime. So it's kind of the way to shake it off is to kind of confront it a little bit and then be okay with it and realize that doesn't make you a bad person or make you somebody that's not going to get there, that this is a process. One of the other books that I do talk about quite a bit is a book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And what it talks about is the fact that we all want this instant gratification. We want to, and when I first got this program, I wanted to go through each one of them right away. He spaced them out a week when he sent them out, and I wanted to go through it all away, and I wanted to just kind of make it all perfect. And what I realized is that every time I go through this, it changes slightly and I get better at it. And it's so when I talk about the slight edge, we're talking about the fact that I don't have to do everything right now today and fix all of the things. All I need to do is do one little thing that's going to get me closer to my goal. But if we don't do as much work as we can ahead of all that, getting clear why we're here, knowing what we want, creating our ideal life in our head, getting that vision right, creating the business that we want in our head first, then setting these SMART goals, but then taking that step further where, a program like the Success Tracker comes into play, where you're now putting it out there and you're sharing and you're getting support and so in fact, to me, my biggest goal is to talk about, some of the things that we've done throughout this program is I've tried to share myself of what I've done in this with you guys. And so I'll share one of my SMART goals here. And this is a long-term SMART goal. So it's broken down a little bit differently than this. So this is actually probably more of a goal of what Jack's going to talk about next week, but I'm going to throw it out there. I really truly believe in the mastermind program and having a mastermind, having those people to come to and talk to and support and kind of reach towards a common goal of success. And so my goal for our success group and for me personally, I think this would create a ton of success in my own life, but my goal is to have 1,000 businesses who are in the Masters of Success program, or who have been in the Masters of Success program for at least 6 months by Tuesday, December 31st, 2024 at 11 p.m. Central Time. Okay, so one more time, 1,000 businesses who have been in the Masters of Success program for at least 6 months by Tuesday, December 31st, 2024 at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. So there we go. There's the goal. All right. So Eric, thanks for letting me go down that path. Hopefully I answered the question. It's a fantastic question. Jerry, so Jerry, one of the, I love that you're putting in the effort and I'm so proud of you. I'm proud to call you a friend. It's really cool to watch this. And that honestly, when we talk about what we want out of life, that's a box. Every time I can watch somebody be successful that I know, like, and trust, which are the folks that are involved here that have been part of all this journey, that checks a box for me. Just you continue to push forward, and that's what you got to do. And you're right. You just got to do it. But at a certain stage, I want you to also give yourself permission or give yourself the ability to back off of that. It's there and you're already doing it. So celebrate the things that you have done, and yes, keep doing, but they don't have to be these big steps. Just keep taking, one small little action. One of the success principles that Jack Canfield talks about is the rule of 5. So if you're just doing 5 little tiny things every day, that's going to get you so far. So or just break it down to the simplest, one little thing to be better today than you were yesterday. And when it relates to your business, what one little thing can you do? Can you make one call? Can you make one adjustment to your website? Can you build a relationship with one person? Can you plan a little bit more? Doesn't have to be anything big. I mean, heck, to the point of, can I straighten out my work area? Can I get my files organized? Can I find an accountant? I mean, lots of things. There's so many things. And then once you do that, check that off and celebrate. So hopefully that helps. Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening and being a part of this. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate everybody that's tuning in or that listens after the fact. It really does mean a lot to me that I'm able to share this and get to be a little bit of your success, hopefully. All right. So with that being said, unless you guys have anything else, I am going to call it a morning. It is a little bit of a rainy day here in St. Louis. Hopefully Travis is getting ready to get the yard mowed. And Curtis, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. And so thank you guys very much. Have a great day. And we will catch you guys next Saturday for week 6 of this program, which is choose your breakthrough goal. So we're going to talk about think of things like BHAGs or big ass goals, wild, audacious goals, things like that. Something that is going to, and again, my BHAG is probably this: 1,000 businesses who have been in the Masters of Success program for at least 6 months by Tuesday, December 31st, 2024 at 11 p.m. Central Time. So think about what yours is, and we'll talk about that next week. Awesome. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your weekend, and we will talk to you soon.